Welcome to Film and Page. I'm Dominic. Now that Dune has finished its theatrical run, it's been out for a while now, and it's did its thing on HBO Max, and now it's out on physical media. A lot of people have picked it up. Now some stories are coming out of what could have been, what this movie could have been, or alternate versions of this movie. And that's something I always found fascinating with some of the sci-fi movies that I'm into, is hearing about movies that could have been or how a movie could have went in a different direction. I always thought that was quite interesting. So I found this article on Slash Film that talks about how Dune could have had a very different intro than the one we got, with Chani doing the voiceover and explaining Dune and how the Harkonnens were there and things like that. So here's the article from Slash Film. Dune screenwriter Eric Roth talks about his scrapped opening to the movie. Adapting Frank Herbert's sprawling sci-fi saga Dune is nothing short of a Herculean task, and Denis Villeneuve succeeded in doing the same with the help of screenwriter Eric Roth. Roth is a major player in the screenwriting arena, having adapted numerous books for the screen, including Forrest Gump, The Insider, and Munich. In a recent interview with IndieWire, Roth spoke about how he scrapped his opening to Villeneuve's Dune, which had biblical connotations, and mostly had to be removed due to budgetary thematic reasons. Roth explains how he was never a sci-fi aficionado, but had read the book when he was a young boy, enjoying it, at least equally like other works in the genre, including Arthur C. Clarke's Childhood's End and Isaac Asimov's Foundation series. The immense appeal of Dune is undeniable, but it is not a universal phenomenon for every 14 to 15-year-old to necessarily adore the series, and such was the case with Roth. While he clarified that he understood how it defined a lot of people, he himself was never a fanboy in the traditional sense of the term. This arguably allowed him to approach the material objectively, something he describes as a process that involved some risks that worked while others didn't. That gave me an objective view of it. I grew up in that era, which Dune was part and parcel of. Psychedelics and all the things that I lived through. I was a hippie. I have a lot of kids, grandkids, and so I said, what the hell, I'll try it. What have I got to lose? I like Denis. He's done some really good movies. Very smart, a visualist. I said, I'll give it a whirl, but I might be a bit out there for you people. I took some risks. Some paid off. Some maybe should have paid off and didn't. When asked about the risks that did not work but should have, Roth went on to describe how he intended to start the film, with a Book of Genesis moment, which chronicled the creation of the world of Dune, which would have purportedly included various planets across the galaxy. Because I'm adventurous, I started the movie with what would seem to be Genesis, and God created, and you think you're seeing the formation of the Earth, and it's Dune with wild animals, things you've never seen. Denis said, this is magnificent, but now we can't afford the rest of the movie. I don't know if that was his way of saying, I don't want to do it. While this particular beginning might have completely altered the tone of the inception of Dune as a cinematic experience, it is perhaps for the best that Roth scrapped this opening. The opening Roth and Villeneuve went with instead, namely Chani's monologue about how her planet is ravaged by colonists and the persecution of her people, is far more effective in terms of exposition and the film's socio-political commentary. So, interesting article. So that would have made for a pretty cool opening, I think, but to see like Dune being formed and all that. But I think the beginning they went with, that introduction is a lot better. Just for the simple fact that I think it really does a good job of, if you're not familiar with the source material, like you haven't read the book and you don't know anything about Dune and you just went into the movie cold, I think that opening really helps you give like a good idea what this world is about. This is what Dune is, or people. These are the Fremen. Here's the Harkonnens. This is what they're doing on Dune. This is why the Fremen don't like them. Here's the Atreides. You know, it all kind of sets everything up really good, and it does a really good job of that, of basically setting up the world so you know what's going on when you go in cold. It's a little bit different. I mean, if you read the book a bunch of times and like where I'm really familiar with the source material, it's a little bit different for me, but someone who hasn't read the book, you have to think of it from that perspective. I mean, that does sound like a really crazy, wild beginning, showing like the planet being formed and all this, like it's being made. I mean, that sounds pretty wild and pretty out there, but, and it would be a cool intro for like another movie maybe, or opening for a different movie. But I think the one they went with is, I think they made the right choice to go with the beginning that they did. But still kind of cool. I like coming across these stories and articles where it kind of gives you an idea of what things could have been, or what movies could have been, or what different direction the movies could have taken, and things like that. I always think that's interesting and cool. So that's everything I got to say in this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and I will see you at the next one. I'd like to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you all in helping this channel grow. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded.